So, welcome vlog folks. Michael Little again. Maybe you'll notice my hair is a little bit shorter. Got into a bit of a fight with a lawnmower. I know. Some would say I lost, some would say I won. Depending on your view on long hair on men, that will be for another discussion. So, for today, this is the title. I was surprised by intimacy. Now, most people see intimacy as something like sex or, physical closeness, which, don't get me wrong, God is good and that all is very beautiful stuff. But that you would expect. At least that's what our culture tells us. But for me, that wasn't the experience. I was surprised a couple weeks ago. Me and my wife were at church, we got home, and my heart was a little heavy. And I was heavy because there was this young woman there, and you know how you see people and you see how they interact with other people and you just kind of feel like, wow, they're hurting. They're making bad decisions, or they don't really know who they are. You see women or men, and they're acting out of fear or shame or whatever, and you're just like, man, you're beautiful. Why? Your confidence is in God, not in his opinion or her opinion or blah, 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 blah. So, I come home, my heart's heavy. And we get home and me and my wife start to share. And I'm telling her, man, my heart really hurt for this girl. And my wife is expressing how, she saw it too. And she stopped and she prayed with her at church. And, right then we just kind of took a moment and we prayed for this young woman. And, man, I felt close to my wife. I felt closer to my wife in that moment than I probably have in a long time. And it was almost like that little diagram we always talk about where it's like, you're here and she's there and God's up here, and as you both climb closer to God, you climb closer together. And that's a good concept, but I never really experienced it until this moment. Where I was like, wow, I feel so close to my wife right now. And I have to tell you, it was a little addicting. You get a little bit of true intimacy and you don't really... The other stuff is kind of like, eh. Man, I'm praying for more of that. And that didn't come from an amazing date. It didn't come from, a new dress. It didn't come from her making me food, but don't get me wrong. Men love when you make them food. But it wasn't that. It was my heart was burdened for the things that burdened God's, and her heart was burdened for the things that burdened God's. And as we met in the center of that burden, man, it was beautiful. So here's the challenge. Maybe you find yourself searching for that intimacy and you're thinking that you're going to find that in a man or a woman. And if you pursue them, you'll get that. But just know that's not how it works. The fact is, to really feel close to somebody, you have to meet at something else in the middle. And I pray that thing that you meet at is holy and good. So that 10 years from now, you don't regret it. You don't wish that you could correct it. But in 10 years, you look back and you say, man, there was a bond there. Because we loved the same thing. It wasn't me pleasing me or you pleasing you, or me pleasing you or you pleasing me. It was us loving the Lord. And together, we built this house with God at the center. There's my thoughts for this week. If you have any ideas, thoughts, comments, questions, epiphanies, suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you like this sort of stuff, subscribe to the channel. Love you guys. Talk to you later.